Hi guys, we're back. I'm Alona.
I'm Sana.
And today we wanted to talk to you about choosing caregivers. So we spent a lot of time emphasizing on how important it is to have the right people do the right job, and how these people have to be in it for the love of caregiving. So we wanted to give you a glimpse into what criteria we use and how we go about choosing the right caregivers for our clients.
All right, so this process has come through a lot of learning and through a lot of mistakes. Definitely in the beginning, we were doing more structured interviews, things you learn in school, things you learn out of a book. This is how you do it. Ask for strengths and weaknesses. That doesn't really do a lot for this type of work because it's so personal. So you really need to get to know the person on a personal basis. So decided to start doing very laid back interviews because immediately the applicant puts their guard down, and I want to see who they are with their guard down, because that's who they're going to be on the job. That's who they're going to be with their client, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing in their case. But I don't want to see the fake them, because that doesn't help me with anything. Also, especially if they're nervous, which I can usually pick up on if they're nervous or if it's part of their personality, it'll kind of help them put their guard down. So that really helps me see, of course, people are still on their best behavior, hopefully, in an interview, but it really gives you a better idea of who they really are. When I asked them about their experience, of course I asked, do you have experience with dementia? Do you have experience with transferring, bathing, hygiene, things like that? But I asked them for stories. Obviously, I asked them to change the names and leave out anything that they think is inappropriate. But I want stories. I want you to tell me, I cared for this person, and this was the situation, and this is what I helped them with, and this is what I learned, and this is what I gained from it. I don't want to just hear, I have 10 years experience with transferring. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Or I have 5 years experience with dementia. Okay, well, I need you to pick 1 or 2 people that you had that had dementia, the more difficult clients, and explain to me how you handled XYZ situation. Because if they can't give you a story, that means they weren't invested.
Yeah.
They were just there. They had tunnel vision. They were just there for a paycheck. They weren't really paying attention. And that's not really the kind of caregiver you want. That's not who you want taking care of your parents. And it also proves how invested they were, because a lot of times I hear stories about, how much they went above and beyond for them and fell in love with them, and you'll see them start going on a tangent and the interview's getting longer and longer. But that's great. Once they get on that tangent, I know I have the real person. I know I don't have this fake, my strengths are blah, blah, blah. Also, we include a questionnaire in our applications that asks about why they choose to be a caregiver, the biggest lesson they've learned, how they adapt to people from different cultures than them, and how they handle stressful situations and or stressful, frustrating clients. I was hesitant to do this at first because I didn't want to give them too much paperwork, but I learned right away how they react to that paper. I learned something. They either say, this is really great, or I can see them kind of roll their eyes. If you can't give me 5 minutes to fill this out, no, you're not a good fit. I learn a lot from what I asked them these questions, obviously, throughout the conversation, but having them have a chance to write it and having them have a chance to really think about their answers, again, gives me insight into who they are. If they're giving me a 1-word reply, if they're I don't need a book. I only give them 2 or 3 lines. But if they're giving me a more genuine response, I feel like they're being more genuine. I feel like they're in this for the right reasons. So different things might work for different hiring managers, but that's just a glimpse into how we choose our caregivers. And a lot of it is your gut. But we really think that makes our experience special, and that the caregiver, if they are a good fit, they leave happy because they were treated a little bit differently than they are in other interviews. So that's just a little bit about how we choose our amazing caregivers, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye.